As you can see in the bottom, this session is going to be transcribed at the bottom, and I'm also going to be recording it. There's a few people who weren't going to make it, and I promised them a recording, so we'll see how the recording works out. If you want a certificate of attendance and or the slides, please put your name and email address in the chat box and let me know what it is you want. And Zoom saves the chat, so I'll get your email address and send you a certificate. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Neisha Jackson. She is going to be presenting tips on how to thrive as a vendor in vocational rehab. She is a multifaceted entrepreneur whose business ventures include over 14 years in vocational rehabilitation. She's the owner of Virage Community Services, which is an employment vendor in New Orleans, Louisiana. And she is also the vice president of Louisiana APSI and has been CESP certified for over 6 years. So I'm going to turn this over to Neisha and we will get started. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to put everyone on mute except Neisha.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for coming today. It's been so crazy with Ida. We were supposed to do this a while ago, but we're here and we still have a good turnout. So I'm really appreciative of you all just even coming and attending. Today's webinar is Small but Mighty, How to Thrive as a Small Vendor in Vocational Rehabilitation. Okay, today's agenda, I just put it up here. We're gonna try to stick to it so that I can stay on time. But if not, it's okay, you'll get the slides. We're gonna do the intro, the topics, resources, and at the end, any questions. And I also ask that if you have questions, you put them in the chat. Even if I don't get to them at the end of this webinar, I will answer them and send them to everybody some kind of way. Okay, so I want to introduce myself. I am Neisha Jackson, founder of Virage Community Services, as Laura said. I have a vast amount of experience because I love to learn. I like new ideas and endeavors, and we also pass that on to our clients. They really enjoy learning new things as well. And so this is just some background information so you can know, I kind of know what I'm talking about. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about, because right now, if nothing else, self-care is vitally important, especially because we are serving others. We're working with others. We're dealing with a time where mental health is strongly underfunded, but it is increasing with individuals who are suffering from many different things and also many facets of life. So I always say before you do anything with anyone else, you have to take care of you first. That includes starting your day, week, or month off right. You should never dread your day. I know I have spoken with and dealt with some people who just really dread their job, dread their day. And that's not how we want to start out, especially in our field, because we are the ones who are helping others. So that's why I always say, take care of you first, and then you can take care of someone else. Come up with a mantra for your day or your week, just something that'll get you going. I'm going to conquer everything I need to do this week in joy and peace. Those things really help when you come back to them, just whatever you're needing at that time. Have things that make you happy set up in the morning. If you're not a morning person, excuse me, you could do it at night. just so they're ready, they're there, you look forward to it. I give you an example. I set up in my mind the breakfast I'm going to have for the next day. It gives me something to look forward to. Like, I'm going to have that for breakfast. That's just something to think about. Just bring calm to you before dealing with the world. That can be any way you do it: devotions, meditation, exercise, calming music. And I also provided a link to a YouTube music channel I really, really enjoy. It has so many options. I know it's something for everybody, but it's just calming. It puts you in a mood of peace. And remember, our days are sometimes hectic. We can't do this in the morning, but if you can come back to this at any point of the day, you're still winning. Um, because mental strength is key to success. That's in anything. You have to be mentally prepared for it. Next, organization is key. You have to just stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's just a saying that I always say, because it's like, if I'm already prepared, if I'm already organized, and I know what I'm up against, I don't have to worry about that. Yes, things happen, plans change, but you have to just prepare your surroundings, prepare what you're dealing with. That way you can be more successful, the best person that you can be at your job. So I recommend weekly to-do lists, coming up with those on the Friday for the upcoming week, or your Mondays. No daily to-do list. The reason I say that is because most of the time, daily to-do lists can get overwhelming. They can become really long. But if you think about everything you need to do for that week, you put it on a to-do list, and you can conquer those tasks daily. Like, you can do them daily, but you've come up with how you want your week to go, the direction you're steering your week. You're not overwhelmed because you have these daily tasks that keep building up. Leave wiggle room. No day is prepared how we think it would be. Even if we put all the organization in, you still have things that come up. Just the population we serve, it happens. So leave wiggle room. Um, Make your own to-do sheets to use and share with others. Sometimes you cannot get the type of to-do list that you need from bought items. So it's better to make up your own. Use Microsoft, any of those programs, and make up a sheet for yourself that works best for you, because remember, this is for you to succeed. Sometimes you cannot find that in bought items. You have to just make it up yourself. Use a planner. Example is Happy Planner. I don't know if you all know what that is, but I love Happy Planners. You can Google it. To me, it just brings you happiness. You get to use stickers, and it's just really fun. It just brightens up your day a little bit, especially when you're dealing with some of the things we do. Utilize your cell phone. I mean, it's there. It's the computer. I mean, just use it, because why not? We have one. Put it to use for as much as we can. And if you need to, you can go old school, sticky notes. Make your sticky notes for the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and just pull them off every day. Remember, if you do not complete something for that day, it's fine. It's nothing to get overwhelmed about. Just add it to the next day with that wiggle room. And you'll just always say, I will get it done. It may not be today, but it will happen. I always say, excuse me, designate specific work hours, including email checks. I don't know how many of you can get overwhelmed with email, but I can get overwhelmed with email. If you set aside specific times of the day that you are going to check your email and address it, it really decreases that overwhelming feeling, feeling like you are just not tackling everything. Also, designate specific work hours. Anything that I'm going to do for that day, I designate times for that. That could be, if I'm doing case notes, okay, I'm going to devote 2 hours to case notes today. If I am doing calls, okay, I'm going to devote 2 hours to calls today. But just designate those specific hours, stick to that. That way you are crossing off many items because you're handling all those at one time, as opposed to going around in circles and coming back to it. So if you make a call, you're doing this, you're doing case note, you're making a call, it can become overwhelming like that. Um, Plans can fail, as I said again, so just adapt and overcome. That is our motto. Anyone who knows us knows that's what we always say. We will adapt and overcome. Always focus on the good of the day, what you accomplished, not what you did not accomplish. That helps so much when we are doing the work that we do. Next, I don't know if you see the picture of the lady at the top. Wow, doesn't she look overwhelmed and stressed? She looks like, gosh, I'm just doing a lot right now. Whereas the group at the bottom looks like they're happy. They look like they're at work and they're just thriving and it's wonderful. So I always say, I want to be like the group at the bottom. They're just enjoying it. And so if you have done all your organization, you've done all your mantras, you've done all your meditation, and it's still not working, just say help is okay. That means you might need help. And that's fine. You all know in our field funds are scarce. That's why I have that sad face. And it's not just because of our current climate. We've always had to finagle our funding in some kind of way to make things work. So why not use resources in the community that not only will help them but us as well? Such as interns. We find them through universities, career programs. Many people forget about that, but there are career programs such as CNA programs or some customer service programs that will offer you interns. They want their students to have skills. Don't forget about those programs. Ask them, hey, can I have interns? Definitely youth programs for the summer in your area. Here in New Orleans, NORD always is asking businesses, can you please work with our students? Perfect way to get some help, even if it's just for the summer. And another way is AmeriCorps. Yes, it takes some application and applying, but I mean, once you apply, you're in there. You will constantly be able to utilize AmeriCorps and have them assist you with different tasks. So, one long application, but after that, you're in there. Next is put a lot of information on a website. If you have a website, it lessens your load and calls. If you have a frequently asked questions section, or if you just put tremendous amounts of information on your website, they will find it and then they won't have to call you unless it's really, really important or they're very interested. Get a virtual assistant. A lot of people don't know, but this pandemic has shown us we can survive from home, out of the office. We don't have to necessarily be in front of each other to work, to function. It's a great organization called Upwork. I use them a lot. It is low cost help. So if you need marketing, if you need a virtual assistant, if you need someone to make your website, if you need anything, you can look at upwork.com and they have help there for fraction of the cost you would normally pay. And another thing is a phone answering service. If you know you get tremendous amounts of calls and you cannot handle them, um, and you want to answer them, because that's, to me, that's clients, that's people that you could potentially have. You can use a phone answering service. Most of the time you can tell them, hey, this is what I want you to say or ask those who call, and then they will give you that information. I listed some websites where you can go and research that, but you're welcome to research any on your own. But these are just some really, really good help methods to lighten your load, because most of the time we have many on our caseload and it could be just us. And so these are methods that I have used that have really helped me tremendously. Next is your virtual presence. As you know, we are going in the digital age. Most of my clients or individuals that I serve, they do tell me they went and looked for my website first and then decided they want to call me. So this is something to think about if you do not have a website or a web presence. As I said before, I know costs can be, a lot, or funding can be limited, but hey, they have options for you. Like WordPress, it allows you to make a website for free most of the time. Upwork, again, they will make a website for you at the fraction of a cost. You can let them know what you want and how you want it to look. They'll just ask you to send them the information you want, but hey, there you go. And then a lot of resources I have gotten are from Yahoo Small Business. I mean, they are great with information, free resources, webinars and training. Like, is really, and they also help you with a free website. So these are some options that you can look into for that website, because that will actually make you look more professional, and people will be more open to using you because they feel, hey, this company is a legit company. Because remember, websites can answer questions. Also, Facebook and Instagram, hey, that's just thrown out there. That's not a needed done. I would just say, if you have like interns, or if you're savvy, if you have interns, even your kids, put them to work. Tell them, hey, make me a Facebook, make me an Instagram for my business. Nieces, nephews, they're wonderful too. Involve your clients also and their families. They can give you surveys, and because you want to see, hey, what am I doing right and what am I doing wrong? What are some things that I can improve on? So it's never anything bad to get constructive criticism, to send out surveys to those you service. These are just on your own, just to say, to see how people are receiving your services, if they're happy, if they're not, and then let them tell you why or why not, so you can change it for the better. Education is key to success in any field, but definitely ours. Things change with us weekly, monthly, daily sometimes. I'm getting an email about an update or a change in policy. So that's why it is very important to stay educated. Never stop learning. I don't care what facet, what level of service you're in. It's very important to stay on top of your game. Many organizations to choose from for this, and I'm going to put a plug in there. Louisiana APSE is a great place to get some education and training. Also, National APSE. They have some really, really good webinars that are free to the public, but also more options that are free to members. So remember that when you're thinking of education and training. I'm also going to say Families Helping Families. I don't know if you're in the newsletter, but they really do send out a lot of training and webinars. Um, and really good information. So they are a great resource, as well as LSU. They have wonderful training and resources. Then I'm going to talk about American Association on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. If you join this organization, you will be open to so many books, webinars, training sessions. It just really helps. I also put some more websites on here that have wonderful training resources, not only for our field, but just business in general. If you want help with your business practices, things that you're doing, sometimes I really just don't know stuff. And this has helped me to be able to go and find these sources and someone to talk to. Um, Certifications in your field. We all know that the more certified we are, the more we can have as far as clients, the more we can have as far as contracts, because we look as though we are very well knowing of our field. We're certified in these things. That really helps. Join an organization. Louisiana APSE is always looking for new members. But there are so many other organizations that you can join and just get help whenever you need it. YouTube. Who does not go to YouTube? I go to YouTube for almost everything, whether it's fixing something at my house, a DIY. So why not go there for education and training? They really have some good resources on YouTube, believe it or not. If you type in disability or type in something you're looking for, you will find something on YouTube. And lastly, one of my recent favorites for the past year and a half is podcasts. Oh my gosh, podcasts are so resourceful and they have so much information. And then they also have individuals you can reach out to and ask questions to. So please use these resources, they're very helpful. Um, Now the dreaded, you see the guy with the flag who's like, gosh, this paperwork is drowning me. We all are dealing, I'm sure, with the paperwork overwhelm. And it's just a way that I tackle it so that I don't feel as like overwhelmed or set back or like I am not being productive. Um, Totally believe in this. If you can't, just because of the organization you work for, or you have forms that are mandatory, that's fine. But if you can, make up forms that work for you and your team. Again, I said, you know what you need more than a populated or pre-made document. If you can make up your own forms and documents that specifically address your needs, it will be so much quicker, so much more helpful to you all, because hey, you did that real quick in that form that you use and it helps you move on faster. I always use this: talk to type in your cell or tablet. Go to the notes section, state the person's name, the date and time you're with them, state the note when you're talking, and just save it as a note. And then you can either email it to yourself or copy it and put it in the case note. So easy, helps you while you're out in the field, and you don't have to constantly go back to the office thinking about what am I going to type because you've dealt with 10 people in a day. Um, I always say focus on one file note or task until it's complete. It's so easy to get out of focus because we have a call or we have this to take care of while we're doing this and that. But I promise you, if you focus on that one thing, get it done, and move on to the next, your day will be more productive. It will be more like you've accomplished some things, because it's so easy to be overwhelmed and to get caught up in 5 tasks at once. So I always say focus on that one task, and then move on to the next. Yes, someone called you, you can call them back. Yes, someone may have emailed you, you can email them back. It's just very important because it will help you stay with the flow. Buy documents on PDF filler if you need to and you just don't have the time to make up forms yourself. Very helpful, informative, and they have nationwide forms or documents that you can edit and make your own. So that's another option. And then have your interns digitize whatever you're doing. It's very important now that we digitize anything that we're doing. You want to be able to go quickly to something if you are audited or if the state needs a record or anything. So digitize everything you're doing. I always say use online cloud platforms such as Microsoft and Google. These are lifesavers. You don't have to always carry around your laptop with you or your computer. You can work anywhere as well. This is very beneficial, even if you're working in a office or with a organization and they have a platform that they require you to use. You can still use this on your own. It allows you to be anywhere and work on whatever you need or to pull up whatever you need right away. You're not strictly stuck to that one computer, that one device to get whatever documents you need. You can just work from wherever you are, and it's very helpful. Scan and upload. When you're out and about, clients may have check stubs, clients may have documents, or you may have documents. It's so easy to just scan and upload it with your phone. As I said, phones are computers. Let's use them as such. It's apps on the phone such as Genius Scan. That's just one, but you can find many in your app section. Just it makes it a PDF. It can make it a Word. it's your choice, but it's really helpful to be able to scan that stuff while you're out and about. That way you're not holding on to it. You're not having to get a folder and put it in a file just to keep till you get back to the office. You took a picture of it, it's uploaded to your cloud, and you're done. You can move on. Even with billing, many organizations have their companies billing for them, but I always say anything that you do, if you own a business, you should know how to do it. One day you may have situations where no one is there to do your billing, or no one is there to help you with certain tasks, and you have to know how to do this stuff. So if you don't know, that's another thing in learning and education and training, is to understand your billing. Um, Calendars. We all have renewals of some sort. Okay. What I do is when I renew something, I put, even if it's a year or 2 or 3 in advance, I put it in the calendar right away. That way I don't have to remember. Most of our calendars are on cloud or some platform with our phone, where if we get a new phone, it'll still transfer to that new phone. And it just helps tremendously, tremendously with us not having to constantly keep up with those dates or remembering that or putting it on paper. So that is why I say paperwork and documentation, you want to make it easier for you and not harder. And something I want to go back to that I did not touch on education and training, but it's very important. Um, Staff having diversity training right now is so vital and important. Um, our staff and anyone we work with, I don't care who it is, should be having some sort of diversity training, just because of the cultures we deal with, the different individuals we're dealing with. It is very vital and important that this happens. And that's why I didn't want to just skip over it. Even if you work at a company and they don't offer that, or you bring it up and they still don't offer it, you can do this on your own. You can go find resources yourself and do the diversity training on your own. So please, please take advantage of that advice. Okay. Now, I don't know how many people talk about this, but I am. Other income sources. Okay. I don't care what we're doing. It might be thriving today. And yes, you might even say, well, I don't have time for anything else. I'm so overwhelmed with my current position. But with the times we're in, the climate and the things that we're going through, other income sources is vitally important right now. I prefer unrelated fields. That way you're not crossing into any rules. You can do these things with no implications, like what is this you're doing? And it just really, really leaves you with that room that you need to be able to do what you got to do. Okay. Um, I always say, if you don't always rely on that one source of income, it releases pressure, allowing us to be more relaxed and able to help our populations. If you're constantly thinking about your job on the line, if you're constantly thinking about how am I going to get income, if you're constantly thinking about these things, how do you think it will like go to our clients? How do you think it's going to go to those we work with? How do you think it'll go to the community? These are things that, even though we think they're not related, they are. Because if you're worried about that in the background, it's going to show. It's going to show when you talk to people. It's going to show when you're doing your work. So this releases pressure. Make a hobby a business. How many are doing that now? They're doing hobbies and making them a business. And honestly, they're making a pretty penny off of that, because I know some people who are really doing well making their hobbies businesses. I always say work smarter, not harder. That is my motto. You want to do things that are not going to overwhelm you, not going to interrupt what you currently do, and allow you to do that still to the best of your ability, as well as whatever you add. um some really good ideas are part-time work. In our field, they have so many programs that are in need of part-time help, especially in case management, especially in counseling, especially in vocational rehabilitation. They have, you can do it virtual. They're looking for virtual assistants. So, I mean, right now the options are there. Find a pocket in your current field. Say you're like, I really don't want to do anything unrelated. That's fine too. An email I included on here is for you to join a newsletter. It's Goodwill Community Partners. Man, that newsletter is awesome. Has so many resources, so many contacts, as well as jobs, companies that need help in our field. So if you haven't already, please join that newsletter. And then I always say implement short-term yearly financial goals. So when the year starts, if whether you work for a company or organization, you're self-employed, think of how much you're going to need that year to be comfortable. That way you can focus on if this happens, what am I going to do? How can I supplement this? If I lose income in one area, can I gain it in another area? These are very important. It also helps with your other income sources because you're actually thinking of this and you know what you need to live comfortably and survive. And review your business plan to see if you're on track. Some of us have not reviewed our business plan since we began 13, 14 years ago. And so that's what it's there for. It's like a map to keep us on track to our goals. So please do that. Those are some things that will help you. Last, community. How are we going to survive in these times? Well, it's through working with each other. Um, it's time to just really get to know one another, what we're doing. How can I help you? That way you feel, okay, they can help me. I can help them. We're trying to survive. That's one of the main goals in our field. I love vocational rehabilitation. I really, really have to love it because I am still doing it with all of these twists and turns and the climates that we have gone through. So, in that in itself, you're here as well. So, that lets me know that you have a passion for it too. So, please reach out to one another. Working together is key. It helps us be able to focus on the client and focus on their needs also better. Um, Join organizations, like let them know you're here. Let organizations know you are here and what you offer, such as the local chamber of commerce, different business listing programs. Put yourself out there. It's I want to say you have to make a presence because otherwise, you can get lost in the sauce. No one knows you're here. No one knows your program. Include your clients. Like, let they know a lot of people too. They know a lot of organizations that well as well. Some of them may even be in day habs or may even be in another program. You can let them know, hey, I want to talk to your day hab. Let them know, hey, what we do. They can bridge that introduction and network. We say this all the time with vocational rehabilitation, but just network everywhere you go. You want to let people know, hey, this is what we do. How can I help you? And then introduce yourself to the community. Take a day out. Even if you're a counselor, even if you're working for an organization, definitely if you're self-employed, introduce yourself to other vocational rehabilitation programs out there, even if they're not in our state, because they can be doing things that are working and we can get on board with that. I always say introduce yourself to your police department's mental health unit. Many times they're looking for resources. They really don't have a clue how to get the resources they need sometimes. And so by you going and saying, hey, this is who I am, let me leave a card, so on and so forth, they're really thankful for that. City government, your local city government, like see if you can set a meeting, introduce yourself, your program. They could utilize you in so many areas and they really appreciate knowing you're giving back to the community. Schools, it's hard right now, but definitely introduce yourself if you can to schools, the special ed department. Just take a day or some time out to make whole calls to them or to visit them. Let them know you're there because many times these students are leaving these schools and they have no idea what they're going to do next. Employers, even if you're not trying to find your client a job, just introduce yourself to them, let them know who you are and what you do. It may just be a good connection to have, but they're there. And then again, family time is vitally important. I don't want, I don't know how to stress this enough. When you are off work, you have to leave it at the office and devote your time to your family. They're already giving up enough time while you're doing this job during the day, and you've given yourself to so many people. When it is time to spend with the family, let them have that time and have it where they feel like they're satisfied and getting what they need to, because not only will that help you do your job, it will fulfill voids in them as well. So those are the main things that have helped me. I thank you all for your time today. And then if you have any questions, I will answer them. But yeah, I'll definitely send the slides if you need them.
Thank you, Neisha.
You're
Thank
very
you. That was
welcome.
wonderful. I wanted to especially thank her for her emphasis on self-care. I think that's really important in the crazy times that we have right now with the pandemic and things changing. Like she said, daily, weekly, monthly, self-care is really important. I also wanted to thank all of you for coming. I noticed a lot of familiar names. So you've been on some of our webinars, you've been on this one, but you've also seen some of our other ones in the past. We've done 4 of them so far. And Louisiana ABSI is there for you. We're having a meeting on Friday. We're going to see what we're going to do next. And if you're on this call, you're on our mailing list and you'll be notified. One of the things we're going to be working on is a conference in December of next year, 2022. So be on the lookout for that, and hopefully be on the lookout for more webinars. We've had some great success with the webinars, and they've been really helpful to people. And so I encourage you to be on the lookout for emails like that. I also want to put one last plug for ABSI and Louisiana ABSI, www.absi.org, or email me and I'll send you some more information about becoming a member. We are always looking for members. We're also looking for board members. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And thank you all again. Hope you go out there, take some of the tips and tricks that Neisha's given you, and make it a great day, a great week.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I'm unmuted. I'm on mute. Thank you. That was excellent.
Thanks. I'm
trying to see who's still on. I have to, I'm going to stop the recording and stop.
Neisha, are you able to hear me? This is